Yo, what's going on, guys? You're now tuning into my very first YouTube live. I decided to explore and play around in this playground to see what kind of adventures this might hold. I thought it might be a cool idea to connect with you guys on a more personal and intimate level, and yeah, just answer your questions, any questions that might come up, talking about hypnosis, magic, personal transformation, your spiritual gifts. I want to dive into all of that. So I just felt it was really important because I know a lot of you guys have been writing questions on my channel, asking if hypnosis is real, asking me stuff about my performance and all those type of things. And so I just wanted to take the time to connect with you guys personally, heart to heart, face to face, and jam out with you guys. So let's see, we got a couple of people in the room. What's going on? We got Desmond. Desmond's already asking the questions. How do you make people go to sleep? What up, Boom Plays? Can hypnosis get you a girlfriend? What's going on, guys? So yeah, I'll definitely be taking your questions. Give me a second. Let me see how I can see all your questions at once. How do I do this? Here we go. Live chat. Okay, now I can see all your questions. Cool. So what's going on, everybody? Let me say hi to a few guys over here. What's up? We got Maya's World. Shout outs to you. Majig Man, asking me about how do you approach doing hypnosis on the streets. Peace and love. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm in Los Angeles. Cool. So it seems like a lot of you guys are already wanting to know more about hypnosis. We haven't even got into it yet, but it's already the hypnosis questions coming in. So I'm more than happy to answer whatever questions you have about it. And I guess I'll just start with my story of how I got into hypnosis, and I'll try and I had gotten invited out to a training seminar in Las Vegas in 2008, and it was in Las Vegas, and it was a training seminar for magicians and mentalists. And at the time I was only doing magic and mentalism. I didn't know anything about hypnosis, and we got invited out there, and there just so happened to be two people in the room who were also students, who were also the world's fastest hypnotists. It was a father and a son named Han Wang and Gordon Fang Wang, and they knew how to hypnotize anyone in less than a second. And so naturally I was intrigued by this, because ever since I was a kid I'd seen hypnosis on TV, and the things that they could do when they tell people to sleep and these magical trances were happening, but I didn't know it was something that you can learn. I thought it was one of those things that only the special among us have, kind of thing. And so here was my opportunity to learn it firsthand. And so these guys were the world's fastest hypnotists, and they offered to teach us a 1-hour lesson of their technique of how to bring someone into trance. And I said the same thing to them that I think a lot of you guys might say, and that a lot of people do say in general, whereas I believed hypnosis was real on some level, but I didn't think it would work on me. I thought my mind was too strong and I'm too special, or whatever case may be. And that honestly couldn't be further from the truth, because actually the stronger your mind is, the more intelligent you are, the more creative you are, the more easily you could go into the hypnotic state, because hypnosis is a learning state. So it requires more intelligence, more access to more of yourself. So the training was a 3-day event. It was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on the Sunday, they gave us a demo. They gave us a talk about what hypnosis is and what it's not. And then they asked for volunteers. And me at the time, I used to have a huge fear of spiders. So not only did I want to get hypnotized, but I wanted them to take away my fear of spiders. And so when they asked for volunteers, my hand boomed up, and so they took me. I went and I sat in the chair, and I'm sitting in this chair in front of about 20 other magicians, and I have the father and the son standing next to me, and I'm thinking the father is going to come over and do his technique on me and hypnotize me. And of course, like I said, I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't expect it to work. And I just didn't know what to expect. And the father looked at me, and he looked at his son, and he looked at me, and he signaled his son to he's like, "You could take this one, son." And he sent over, his kid was looking like a little Bruce Lee, sent him over to me. The kid came in front of me, Gordon, and pure confidence just looked me in the eye, and he's just like, "Will you listen to all my instructions?" And I was just like, sure, kid. And he gave me his hand, he put out his hand, I grabbed his hand, signaled for me to take a nice deep breath in. I did, and then as soon as he pulled my arm and said the word sleep, I just went out. And it was an interesting experience because when I went out into the trance, even though they say the word sleep and your body kind of shuts down in a certain way, you don't actually fall asleep. You're actually going into a heightened state of awareness. So I was still aware of everything that was going on around me. I was aware that I was being hypnotized. I was aware that there was people in the room. And I was just even more aware of my inner world and the sensations I was feeling. And it just felt like I didn't care about anything. It just felt good to be there. And the best way I could liken this experience, if you've ever been driving down the highway with the windows down and then suddenly you put the windows up and you kind of hear that vacuum, that feeling, that's kind of what hypnosis felt like to me the first time. And so he put me in a trance. They took away my fear of spiders and woke me up probably like a minute later. And when I woke up, I was just stunned. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, so that's hypnosis. And then they went on and they taught me and the rest of the class their technique. And what most blew my mind of hypnosis and learning the technique was how easy it was to do. I thought it was going to be something that took years of practice and it was super hard, but actually it was so incredibly simple that's what blew my mind away the most, was that I was able to go up to anyone in the room and left, right, and center. I was literally just hypnotizing people into these deep trances effortlessly. And so like I said, it came very easily to me, but what I couldn't understand was why it was working. Why is it that I can go up to someone, say the word sleep, bring them through a little bit of a process, and all of a sudden I could click my fingers and my words becomes their reality? Why is that? Why is that even possible? And so that question, that desire to understand the why behind hypnosis is what became my obsession. And the reason why I ended up, posting all those hypnosis videos that you guys saw, because I literally just went on this obsessive journey into hypnosis, learning from every mentor that I could possibly learn from, reading every book that I can, buying into every program. I literally invested thousands and thousands of dollars training with the best of the best. And while I learned tons of amazing things from these mentors and the books and whatnot, like as far as more techniques and stuff, nobody was able to teach me why the hypnosis was working. All they were teaching me was more techniques, more knowledge, more ideas, but no one was able to tell me, why is it when you say the word sleep, they go into a trance? How do you know when to say the word sleep? What's the timing of things? Like, why does this technique work to begin with? Those are the questions I wanted the answer to. I wanted to know the essence of hypnosis. And so the way I ended up going about that and learning that is, one of the things that another mentor of mine had taught me was, he said, dare to fail. Dare to fail. When you're learning hypnosis, he's like, you have to be willing to dare to fail so that you can learn from it. And so, while it was scary for me in my beginnings, I was probably about 21 years old at the time. I'm 31 now. I just remember there was one day, it was Boxing Day, and me and my friend, we had gone to the mall when there was tons of people, and I just dove in. And I just began trying things and being willing to fail and seeing what would happen. And sure enough, I started to just very easily again be able to hypnotize people. And I failed a lot of times and I succeeded a lot as well. But through doing it in the street and through giving myself my own experience, that's when I started to understand the intuitive understanding of hypnosis. Why hypnosis really works. What is it that I need to look for in people? What energy do I need to create in people in order to bring them into these deep hypnotic trances? What's the intuitive understanding of all this? And so that's what I ended up discovering. And that's when you saw me post all these videos on YouTube that you guys have. There was that one that I did at my old college that went viral, the one called how to hypnotize people uncut or something like that, which is a genuine video. By the way, I've never used any actors or stooges, so if there's any of you wondering if my hypnosis is fake, it's 100% authentic, all right? So where was I going? Lost my train of thought. Intuitive hypnosis, diving into the streets. Yeah, so that's when I started posting all these videos online. because I was just sharing my journey. I was sharing what I was learning about it, and I wanted to show you guys that it was possible. I wanted to show that, you know, this is something that you can learn that's extremely fun, that not only blows people away, but it's a tool that you can use to change lives and change your own life, because that's really what it most did for me. You know, all of a sudden it was like discovering a superpower. You know, it was an easy way for me to approach people and connect with them. It was a way for me to bring goodness into people's lives. It was a way for me to have people experience magic, you know, heal emotions and do all kinds of things. So it was really just a powerful journey for me to learn altogether. And you know, along the way, then I started getting a lot of messages from you guys, you know, in my email and on YouTube, just asking me to learn my unique style of hypnosis. You know, I've gotten a lot of messages, you know, from you guys saying, you know, that you've seen other hypnotists here and there, but you notice that there's something unique about my style. And so that's when I went ahead and I created, you know, the Master Hypnosis course that some of you guys know about, and that I'm sure a lot of you guys are in, where, you know, I wanted to create something so that you guys could learn hypnosis too. And actually, I created it also for my mentors, those who taught me hypnosis, because I wanted to share with them the thing that I discovered about hypnosis that transformed my game, that allowed it to become intuitive and not so mechanical. And so that's the general idea of how I got into hypnosis and what it's about for me. And so what I'd love to do now is just dive into whatever questions you might have, now that we've set the premise, and see where I could shed some more light. So let me see, how do I open up the questions here? All right. So Tubby Swan is asking, can you do it with any age? I'm assuming you're asking me if you could hypnotize anyone at any age. The simple answer is yes, and people who are, you know, if you're trying to hypnotize a kid, you know, 6, 7 years old, that kind of thing, you don't really need to bring them through the hypnotic process, because they already kind of live in a hypnotized state where they could hallucinate realities very easily. You know, if you tell a kid to imagine that the floor is lava and to play some sort of game with them, they could do it very instantly. They don't need the hypnotic state. It's more adults, you know, who you need to bring through the hypnotic process, because really what you're doing when you're hypnotizing someone is you're reconnecting them to their childlike magic, to their childlike essence, to that part of them that they may have forgotten about that allowed them to create those realities like they did when they were a kid. So in a sense, when you're hypnotizing them, when you're hypnotizing someone, you're actually dehypnotizing them. You're removing the blocks from their mind that stop them from being able to experience the magic of their inner world and reality. You know, so it's very much a gift in that sense to get hypnotized and to be able to hypnotize someone. So I hope that answered your question. iCreepTV is asking, how can I help other people by using hypnosis? There's honestly an infinite amount of ways you could help people using hypnosis. I mean, I don't know if you're already doing hypnosis, but the beautiful thing about hypnosis is that it's literally only limited by your imagination. Anything that you can creatively think of with hypnosis, you can help people with. I don't think I've stumbled upon something that I haven't been able to help with hypnosis. To give you an idea, you could use hypnosis to help people stop smoking in 1 hour. You know, I have a method where I make people believe that they never started smoking. You know, so you could use it to release addictions. You could use it to permanently heal deep-rooted emotional traumas that people have dealt with their whole lives that even their therapist can't solve. You could use it to explore past lives and life in between lives. You could use it to ignite your confidence and step into more of your spiritual gifts. You could use it to enhance your relationships and sex. You could use it literally for anything you could possibly think of, because really what you're doing with hypnosis is you're accessing your mind as if it's a computer, and you're just enhancing certain things so that you can have more freedom within yourself. You're learning how to, with hypnosis, you're transforming limitations into freedom. All right, so I hope that answers your question. William is asking, is there any permanent effects? That's a great question. So it depends what context you're approaching hypnosis from. You know, if I'm approaching you to hypnotize you for fun, just for entertainment, then there are no permanent effects in the sense of, you know, if I come and hypnotize you and I make you do all these fun things like hallucinate that I'm your favorite celebrity or whatnot, and then I wake you up, there's no permanent effects in the sense of someone randomly being able to come up to you and, say the word sleep and then you'll go into a trance again, or them saying a certain key word and you acting on a certain suggestion, because that's not the thing that you agreed to begin with. So here's where there's a huge misconception about hypnosis. Whereas even though it looks like mind control, it looks like I'm controlling the person, in truth, the people are actually agreeing to get hypnotized. So before I hypnotize someone, they're saying, yes, I want you to hypnotize me, and yes, I'm down to do fun things. So they're agreeing for me to have that certain control over the reality, but it's not mind control because they're giving me permission. Does that make sense? So on the entertainment aspect, there's no permanent effects. However, if you use it therapeutically, and then someone comes in saying, I'd like to stop smoking for the rest of my life, because they're coming in with that intention, because they're coming in with that desire, then yes, there can be permanent effects because that's what you're asking for. Does that make sense? So it really depends on which angle you come at hypnosis from. But it's always, your brain has its own defense mechanism. It will only take things that are in alignment with its values, things that are positive and that it sees as beneficial for it. Leia is saying, I can't seem to instantly hypnotize anyone. What am I doing wrong? That's a question I get a lot. I get a lot of messages from you guys saying, you're lying, I watched your videos, I did exactly the same thing I saw you do, the same words, the same techniques, and the person didn't go into hypnosis. Why? What happened? And this is where there are so many subtleties to hypnosis that need to be understood in order to hypnotize effectively. And again, this is also why I created the master hypnosis thing for you guys. So the number one reason that I see that people fail when they go to do hypnosis is because they're not taking time to build rapport with the people who they're hypnotizing. And what I mean by that is they're not taking time to build trust, a trusting connection where the person trusts you as a hypnotist and they feel comfortable with you being their hypnotist. That is one of the most important parts to being able to hypnotize someone, because it's not just you go up to someone, you say a few words, you do a technique, and they go into a trance. It's so much more than that. There's an analogy that I like to give where I want you to imagine that hypnosis is like walking someone to a bridge, right? And the bridge represents hypnosis. You want them to cross the bridge into the hypnotic state. Now, if you just go up to somebody, let's say the bridge is here. If you just go up to someone randomly and you start doing moves and words and techniques on them and then you just say the word sleep, they're just going to fall on their face because they're not even at the bridge yet. So the biggest part of hypnosis, in fact, I would say 90% of hypnosis is actually about taking time to build trust and connection with them, which is really walking them to the bridge, making them feel comfortable with you, with who you are, that you're actually, that you know what you're doing. You're building rapport with them, you're getting them excited. And then once you build that rapport and you walk them to the bridge where they're ready to be hypnotized, then you could apply your techniques and they'll visit. And so I'm not saying it's impossible to hypnotize people without rapport. I'm just saying it's so much easier to do it when you do have rapport. Because at the end of the day, you want this to be effortless for you. Let me get some more questions. How you guys liking this information so far? Send me some likes if this is helpful for you. All right, let me dive up into the questions here, see what I missed. What do you think about David Blaine magic tricks? Some of them are impossible to be done by humans. So David Blaine, if you don't already know, is one of my biggest inspirations. He's actually the reason why I got into magic to begin with. When I was a 16-year-old kid trying to find that thing to make me, that made me special, and I was trying to find a way to connect with people. When I saw David Blaine on TV, that's when I was just like, that's what I want to do. And I started to learn magic from there. So to address the question of, how is it possible it's impossible for humans to do those things, if you see a human doing those things, that's what lets you know it is possible. So just because your mind can't conceive of a way immediately of how that's done, doesn't mean that they sold their soul to the devil or that they're doing demon magic or any of that stuff. All that stuff that you see on YouTube is complete bullshit. All right. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell that, from, or at least from my vibe, that, there's nothing but shine going on over here, right? There's nothing but good vibes and love going on. So, it's a practice. Learning magic like David Blaine or like myself, it's a practice. There's certain skills that you learn, there's certain psychology, there's certain tricks, there's certain illusions. Whereas the whole point of entertainment magic, of illusion magic, is to perform things in a way that looks real, that blows your mind, and that blurs the lines between between illusion and reality. But at the end of the day, if you see someone else doing it, that just means that you could do it too. They're just a reflection of your potential. That's just a reflection of your own possibility. So let it inspire you rather than, maybe judge it as demon magic. And I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but I'm speaking to anyone who might be thinking that way. All right, so let it inspire you. That's the whole point. The reason why I made my channel wasn't to be like, hey guys, look what I could do. It was to inspire possibility. It was to show you guys, hey guys, look what I could do, and that means you could do it too. Here's a way for you to step into your greatness. Here's a way for you to step into your shine and power. All right, so yeah, let that be the message. So let's see. So Owen says, I want to hypnotize someone, but they keep laughing. Am I just extremely dumb? No, you're not, you're not just extremely dumb. Not at all. So this is something normal to come across, especially when you're trying to hypnotize someone who's not taking you seriously. And so there's different ways of managing this. And it's often knowing that when someone starts laughing, it could also just be them being very nervous. They could be nervous, and so they laugh as like a defense mechanism. So what I like to do is I just, if someone starts laughing, I could just ask them like, hey, do you really want to try this and do this? I think this could be a really cool experience for you, if you're open to it. And then just give them the option of saying, you know what, yeah, cool, let's do this. But the whole idea with hypnosis is it's not a battle. It's not you against them. It's not, I bet I could hypnotize you, I bet I can't. It's a collaboration. This is, I have a gift I want to give you. I have this gift of hypnosis that I want to give you that will give you access to more of your minds, more of your potential, more of your power. Are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to receive it? That's the frame, that's the mindset I approach hypnosis with. Does that make sense? So when I'm going to hypnotize someone, sometimes I'll even give them the analogy that I'm the GPS and you're the driver. So as the GPS, I have my destination set to hypnosis. I could show you how to get to the hypnotic state. I can give you the directions. But since you're the driver, you can choose to go off course. You could choose to go into different directions, and that's completely up to you. But if you choose to follow my directions, you will enter the hypnotic state easily. Andrew is asking, how do you get someone in a relaxed state? Like, do you judge them before and guess what makes them relaxed? That's a great question. So there's different steps to this. One of the most simple answers is to bring yourself into a relaxed state first. There's a principle in hypnosis and NLP that's called going first. All right, and what that means is any state that you want to bring them into, you need to go into that state first so that you can emanate it, so that you can share it. So if you want them to be relaxed, it's a good idea for you to go into a calm and relaxed state yourself first. If you want, or a playful state if you want them to be playful, as an example. And so that's a starting part, is one, go there yourself first. And secondly, if you want to relax them, you have to have that intention of relaxing them and, and asking them like, again, are you happy for me to do this with you? Do you really want to experience hypnosis? I'd love for you to, experience the power of your mind. All right, perfect. So as you step there, I just want you to take a moment and take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just let yourself relax. Notice how good it feels to relax. Perhaps noticing that the more you breathe, the more you relax. And the more you relax, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. And I could go on, but essentially, a good way to start is for you to go there first, and then to just have them breathe. Just ask them to take a nice deep breath, maybe 3 deep breaths, and then you could have their focus. Because at the end of the day, I'm actually not looking for them to be relaxed to hypnotize them. Relaxation is a way to hypnotize people, but I'm more looking for them to be tuned into me. I want them to be captivated to me, connected with me. That's what's more important to me than the relaxation. because I actually prefer for them to be super excited, you know, super captivated, super fascinated and engaged. The relaxation for me comes afterwards. After I hypnotized you and I said the word sleep, then I just want to relax you and deepen you into the state of hypnosis so that I could start giving you my suggestions. All right? Let me know if that makes sense. William Estfan is asking, is there evil things that can be done by hypnosis? Thank you for asking that question, because that's something that comes up a lot. And the simple answer is no. Evil things can't be done with hypnosis. However, and this is where I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you guys, if things are put into a certain context. So if I were to hypnotize you and I told you, when I snap my fingers, and when I snap my fingers, you're going to take this gun and shoot this person, there's going to be a part of your mind that says, there's no way I'm doing that, you know, because it goes against your values. It goes against your morals. So no matter how much I would try and get you to do an evil thing, your values wouldn't allow for it. On the flip side, if you're already that type of person, for example, if you were a murderer, which I'm sure none of you are, and someone was hypnotized to go towards that direction, because it's in alignment with your values, it is possible that someone could go and do something like that. However, that's not something I would expect any of you guys to ever come across. Let's see what other questions you got. Joan is asking, do I need a degree to use hypnosis therapeutically? That's also a phenomenal question and one that comes up a lot. The simple answer is no, not at all. You know, I myself have studied hypnotherapy from some of the greats, and I never bothered getting the piece of paper because I just don't care for a piece of paper. You know, what I care about is the results that I can get. There are some people, you know, depending on what kind of people you're surrounded by, there are some people who feel more trusting if they know that you have a diploma, if they know that you have a degree, but it's not required. You know, because at the end of the day, what matters most is trust. You know, if you could build trust with a person and they genuinely feel that you can help them, and you know that you can help them, then it's the results that matter. You know, so I've studied hypnotherapy, energy mastery, intuition, psychic ability, life coaching, you name it. You know, and I've never used a piece of paper or a degree to define me, because that's just not who I am. That's not how I see things. And I don't believe anyone should feel like they need to limit themselves or stop themselves from doing something that they're passionate about, you know, because they think they need to do things in a certain way. I believe in possibility. Let's see. Just going through your messages over here. Hello, David. I've watched many of your videos and I want to learn it too. I know you are located in the UK. I'm not located in the UK. I've actually never been to the UK. And I'm from Germany, but I have a big interest and the money. Please DM me. I'm not clear on what your question is. I'm actually located in LA. I'm constantly traveling the world. I'm going to be going to Canada, back to Canada in 2 weeks. But from what I understand, you're asking how you could learn hypnosis from me, even though that we're in different countries. And if that's your question, that's why I actually created my online master hypnosis course for you guys. So if you haven't seen it already, if you go on my website, if you go on www.lionism.tv, and you're going to see there's a link where you could learn hypnosis from me, and you could learn magic and mind reading from me. And it's an online course where it's literally done in video format. So it's all these HD videos where you see me performing hypnosis, and then you see me break it down chunk by chunk so that you can learn it as well, without us having to be face to face. And it literally takes you 90 minutes to go through the course and be able to start hypnotizing your first people. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Do I need to deepen the trance state for more unbelievable suggestions to work? Yes, absolutely. You know, so here's the process of hypnosis. All right? I'm going to give it to you in a very simple framework, a simple formula. Step one, build rapport. Actually, let's go even before that. Step one is be the hypnotist. You're not just someone who's doing hypnosis. You're a hypnotist. So I want you to step into your hypnotist state. Imagine in your mind's eye, imagine in your imagination what your hypnotist self looks like. How does he or she walk, talk, and dress? How does he or she breathe? How does he or she stand? You know, I want you to step into that imagination of your hypnotist self as best as you can and embody yourself as a hypnotist. That's step one. It's setting the intention of, I'm a hypnotist, I'm going to practice and play with hypnosis over here. So that's step one. Step two is building rapport with the person. So you want to build that trusting connection with them so that they're willing to play this hypnosis game with you and go into a hypnotic trance. What am I at? Step one, step two. Step three is the techniques. You know, so it's doing whatever your induction is or suggestibility tests. You know, usually people will do suggestibility tests here to see who's most ready to go into hypnosis. It might be magnetic fingers or sticking their eyes shut. And then once you see who your best hypnotic subject is, then the next step is the induction. It's going to the person or the people that you feel are best for the moment and doing your induction, bringing them into the hypnotic state. From there, the next step is to deepen their trance. So once you first bring them into hypnosis, I want you to imagine like you're diving them into water, and they're going to start off somewhere near the shallow end. Some go a little deeper, some stay a little above. So what you most want to do is you want to deepen them into a deeper hypnotic state so that their mind starts to let go more and more, and they begin to allow themselves to go into the deeper states of hypnosis. You know, and this could be done in many different ways. You could count down from 10 to 1 and just relax them. You could have them go awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. That's one of my preferred methods, which works a lot like an alarm clock. Have you ever had the experience where you set the alarm and you happen to wake up in the morning maybe 5 minutes before your alarm and you're wide awake, but you notice you have 5 minutes, so you tell yourself, I'm just going to wait till my alarm goes off. So you bring yourself back to sleep, and then when your alarm goes off, suddenly you're not as wide awake, you feel more groggy, you feel more dazed, and you're like, oh, I'm going to hit snooze because I want to rest a little bit more so I can feel more awake. You hit snooze, you go back asleep, and then when you wake up again, now you feel even more groggy. And every time you go awake, asleep, you're actually just bringing yourself deeper and deeper into a trance. So that's something called fractionation. So there's another way you could deepen people. And once you have people deepened, the most important suggestion that you can give them after you've gotten them used to the sleep command, you know, used to following the word sleep, is this is what I call the super suggestion. Okay, this is a golden nugget for all you hypnotists out there. The super suggestion that you want to give them is, everything I say will instantly and automatically become your reality because everything I say only serves to make you feel good. All right, I'll say that again. Everything I say will instantly and automatically become your reality because everything I say only serves to make you feel good. So what you're suggesting to them in that moment is the suggestion of any suggestion you give will become the reality. And once they take hold of that suggestion, you know, everything I say will only serve to make you feel good. Once you understand and accept that, nod your head yes. And they'll nod their head yes. Once they accept that suggestion, then you can move forward with pretty much anything else you want. Sticking their feet to the floor, making them forget their name, making them hallucinate, all those other things. But the most important suggestion you could give after the sleep command is that super suggestion of anything I say becomes your reality. Once you understand that, nod your head yes. Nod your head. There we go. Danny is asking, can you hypnotize someone over the phone just using your voice? I asked this because I have a long-distance friend with PTSD. Absolutely. You could hypnotize someone, as long as they could hear your voice, then you could hypnotize them. In fact, most of my clients live internationally, and so I do most of my sessions with people either over Skype or over the phone, where just by virtue of being able to hear my voice and being able to communicate with them, that's what matters most. I don't need to actually be able to physically manhandling you. That's more for the entertainment aspect of hypnosis. But for transformational work and for therapy, there's no need for those. There are other ways of doing things where just by hearing your voice, it's more than enough. You know, I make people stop smoking over the phone. I help people heal deep emotions over the phone. I help people tune into their spiritual gifts over the phone. So there's no limitation involved in that sense. Let me know if this information is useful, by the way, guys. Give me some likes. Let's see. Stefan Barksdale is asking, which do you like more, magic or hypnosis? Oh, that's a good question. I want to say that I like both differently, you know, because they're both two different energies. You know, magic I feel is much more fun and playful in the sense that you could show people impossible things, like visually impossible things that just doesn't make sense. Whereas hypnosis is on that borderline of being real magic, you know, because there's no tricks and illusions. You're actually doing what you say you're doing. And it's just different because it could be scientifically explained, so to speak. And, you know, so I like them both differently. If I had to choose between the two, it's tough, man. I don't think I could choose. I like them both equally and differently. What I most love out of anything, though, is actually energy work. I love energy mastery. I love the world of psychic ability and intuitive ability. That's what fascinates me the most because that's where I started to discover the arts of real magic. You know, whereas all real magic is, or magical ability, it's the ability to consciously use conscious. You know, so anytime you're, you know, if ever you've had a moment where you're helping a friend and you're talking to a friend and you're just giving them this genius wisdom and advice that's just poured through you, and you know you're even impressed with your own words and you're even learning from yourself as you speak. It doesn't feel like you talking. That's you consciously using your unconscious because you're just channeling information from the unconscious, and that's a form of magical ability because you're getting information from the ethers, so to speak. Let's see. What do you think people respect more, being a hypnotist or being a magician? Because I'm both and I kind of struggle with that decision as well. The best way I can, you know, I don't think either is necessarily the answer. I think what people most respect more is who you are and who you show up as. So it doesn't matter if you say you're a hypnotist or magician. I personally say both. I let people know, I'm like, hey, I'm a magician and hypnotist for the soul. You know, but it's not the words I'm saying, it's not the title I'm giving, it's who I'm showing up as. It's the vibe that I'm bringing that people respect. So if you show up with, you know, with the right vibe and the right intentions and you're thinking about others, people will respect that way beyond any words or labels that you could put on it. Kelly is asking, did you ever fail? I did, it really sucks. I wish I can actually do it too. I fail all the time. All the time, and I've failed tons of times in order to, you know, get as good as I am now. And now I purposely fail, you know, because I realize that failure is just learning. There's no such thing as failure really, you know, because you're just, you know, when I say that I purposely fail, what I mean is that I know that I'm good at doing hypnosis in a certain kind of way, and I like to expand myself and stretch myself and learn new things. So I'll purposely go and do things that I don't know if they're going to work just to see, just so I could learn more. Because that's all failure really is. It's learning. It's learning. It's getting feedback of what works and what doesn't work so that you can master your craft. You know, like, think of a baby. When a baby's first learning how to walk and it's getting up and it's falling and it's getting up and it's falling, it's not failing, it's learning. It's learning how to balance. It's learning how it's got to steady itself. It's learning the ways of walking. So it's really just a perspective shift. If you could see failing as learning, then you'll have no fear towards it. And in fact, you'll invite it and move towards it faster, which is what's going to help you attain mastery so much quicker. And on that point, you know, for those of you who are practicing hypnosis, here's a suggestion for you guys, you know, because a lot of people ask, what's a good way of practicing hypnosis? How can I practice with people? And I noticed that there's a certain pressure that a lot of you guys put on yourselves, whereas you feel that because you've studied hypnosis or because you've practiced it, that you have to be perfect, you know, that you have to present yourself like you're this perfect hypnotist. And that's just putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You know, what I suggest to my students is after you learn, is to just be honest. You know, go up to someone like, hey, I'm a hypnotist. Is it okay if I practice something with you? That's honest, because that's what you're doing. You want to practice something. And when you approach things from that energy, people are much more open than if you're trying to be someone that you're not. You know, if you're trying to fake it, so to speak. So if you want to practice with people, just say like, hey, I've been learning from one of the world's fastest hypnotists, or hey, I've been, you know, hey, I'm learning hypnosis, or hey, I'm a hypnotist, whatever case may be. Is it okay if I try something with you? I want to practice. I want to see something over here. Just be honest. Sincerity will take you a long way. And also, further on that point, when you're a beginner, I highly suggest that you practice on people usually between the ages of 16 to 25. 16 to 25, and generally it's best to practice on people who aren't like your family members when you're first getting started. You know, just because sometimes your family will have a hard time taking you seriously, or if it's like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, sometimes they have a hard time taking you seriously. Whereas if it's a friend or a friend of a friend, or you're in a mall, if you go up to them and say, hey, I'm a hypnotist, do you guys want to see something interesting with the power of your mind? They have no reason not to believe that you're a hypnotist, and in fact, they'll get excited because you're about to give them a gift. So it's all about how you present it. Let's see. Hey David, what is the easiest way to find the confidence to hypnotize someone? And more importantly, how do I find the confidence to give my subject a suggestion that works? I always fear humiliation. So that's pretty much everything that I just touched on, is to not feel like you have to be perfect. You know, it's just to be honest with where you're at. You know, you just learned hypnosis. You're a beginner. Own that. That's awesome that you're a beginner. That's awesome that you even learned hypnosis or even heard about hypnosis. There are some people who see it as such a mystery. So my suggestion to you is to just be honest with yourself and to be where you're at. Don't try and be where you're not. If you're not a master hypnotist, don't act like a master hypnotist, you know? And that's what will get you to master. Let's see. Becky says, hey, I'm a surgeon. Could I practice a lobotomy with you? You're going to have to make that much more intriguing. I like that. Let's see if there's any things I missed over here. So let's see. I want to make sure I'm answering questions I haven't answered before. We got about 15 more minutes here, guys. Any tips on how to get people to go to sleep? Yes. So there are two major components of hypnosis that need to be met. There's two major aspects of hypnosis that need to be met if you want to hypnotize people easily, if you want to get them to sleep easily. And one of them I spoke about before, where I said rapport. You know, they have to be able to trust you and you trust them. There has to be a trust connection where they trust that you're a hypnotist and they're open to letting themselves let go. Because think about it. You have to think about it from the other person's perspective. You know, you may have learned hypnosis and you may be fascinated by it, but there are some people who are afraid of hypnosis. You know, they don't understand what's going to happen. You know, they're afraid that they're going to lose control. They're afraid that they're going to do things that they don't want to do, that they're going to reveal their secrets. So the trust part is so important. You know, the more that you could dissolve their fears and let them know that, you know, hey, you can't do anything that you don't want to do under hypnosis, and you're going to be fully in control the whole time. In fact, hypnosis is something that occurs naturally in your brain 7 to 10 times a day. Did you know that? Anytime you daydream and you just find yourself in that daydream state, that's hypnosis. Or anytime you're reading a book and you just find yourself so captivated in the story and you could imagine the characters and you feel like you're experiencing them, even though you're just really reading words, that's hypnosis. So hypnosis is the state of experiencing your imagination. Can you guys hear me? Am I back? Okay, now we're back online. Sorry about that. So my Wi-Fi dropped. But that's an example of building rapport. is, is simply building that trusting connection by letting them know you're an expert. They have to trust you as an expert, and they have to feel comfortable. So let them know what hypnosis is, what it's not, dispel their fears, and just be genuine. That's what allows for powerful hypnosis. And if you're a magician, or if you learn magic, that will actually take your hypnosis to another level. Because if you could go up to someone and blow them away, and whether you read their mind or whatever the case may be, when they believe that you can do the impossible, they're going to be that much more easy to hypnotize, because they already believe that you could do the impossible. You've already built that rapport with them. You've already built that trust and connection with them. So magic is a gateway to powerful and easy hypnosis. Let's see. Is it easier to put someone in a trance when they are high? Not necessarily. It's not impossible. Same way it's not impossible to hypnotize a drunk person, but some of the key factors that makes hypnosis work is your ability to concentrate and focus and imagine. So if they can't concentrate, and they keep dazing out kind of thing, and they can't focus on you, then it'll be harder for them to go under. August is saying, I always find it hard to hypnotize people when they know I'm new and who hasn't been hypnotized before, because they don't believe that it will work. How do I get past that barrier? So my first question would be, who are you trying to hypnotize? If you're always trying to hypnotize the same people, that could be one way to overcome the barrier. And the second thing is, like I said earlier, to approach it in such a way that you're not trying to be perfect. You're saying like, hey, this is something I'm learning. I learned from one of the best hypnotists, and I've already hypnotized a few people. Is it okay if I practice with you? Because I just want to get better, or whatever your truth is. So just be honest rather than trying to be someone you're not. That's really a key component to hypnosis, because that's really all. Darren Brown, one of my favorite performers, gives a great formula for hypnosis. He says, confidence plus expectation equals hypnosis. So your confidence and them expecting to get hypnotized, and them expecting that you're a hypnotist and that you do these things, equals hypnosis. But confidence, and I know this is a big piece for a lot of you, confidence isn't being able to show up and be perfect. That's not confidence. Confidence is being honest with yourself, being able to be honest with yourself. Confidence is knowing who you are and being willing to be who you are. So if you're a beginner, be a beginner. If you're silly, be silly. If you're nervous, be nervous. But don't try and be someone you're not. Confidence is owning that. So, I remember, in my beginning years, I used to literally go up to people and be like, hey, I'm a hypnotist. You guys seem like interesting people. Is it okay if I try something with you guys? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And then I'd feel super nervous because I'm like, this was uncomfortable for me. And then I'd be like, I'm super nervous, by the way, because this is something new that I'm trying, but I'm very excited to explore this with you guys. And by me being honest, that builds their compassion for me, because they could relate, they could connect. They know that I'm not trying to overpower them and that I'm just being human. So, they're like, oh, cool, just try it, for sure. Like, we're open to it, man. So they open themselves up when you're open with yourself, when you're honest. So let honesty be your guide. That's true confidence. Owning who you are, owning where you're at, and not trying to be someone you're not. We got about 10 more minutes here, guys, just to let you know. And then in the end, I have a special gift for some of you guys who have stuck with me the whole way, that I'll be talking about. How to deal with a person going to mental breakdown during hypnosis. Today, a random person I hypnotized started crying in the end of what seemed fun hypnosis session. That's a great question. So that's something that happens maybe like 5% of the time. Out of the thousands of people I've hypnotized, I've seen it maybe once or twice. And that's something in hypnosis that's called an abreaction. And what's happening in that moment is when you hypnotize someone, you're actually you're freeing them in so many ways. So when you hypnotize someone, they might be these like rigid and stiff and serious people, but when you do that, when you bring them into hypnosis, they're going into such a state of emotional freedom and experiencing so many things at once that it's very possible that they start to go through this breakdown. And so the best thing that you can do is not to freak out yourself, but to just go up to them, put your hand on them, and just be like, and just relax, and just soothe them the same way you would soothe a child. Just relax and let yourself relax. And you could even ask them, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Because I've literally had someone who was breaking down crying and looked like they were in excruciating pain, and I put my hand on them and I'm like, do you feel good? And they nod their head, they said yes. And my mind was a bit blown because they didn't look like that, but really what was happening is they were just having so much release, so much emotional release that was actually therapeutic for them. So you could ask them, does this feel good for you? If they say no, you could say, okay, so is it okay if I wake you up? Yes. On the count of 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling amazing, better than you've ever felt in your whole entire life. No longer hypnotized. 1, 2, 3, slowly waking up. 4 and 5, eyes open. All right? So that's one way that you could deal with it. But the short answer is just to have compassion. Be considerate, have compassion, and trust that everything's okay. There's nothing bad happening. Sometimes it's just like an explosion of emotions. Exactly. Calm, loving compassion goes a long way. Is Michael Jackson your favorite artist? Yes, he's absolutely my favorite artist. I'm curious what makes you ask that question. But yeah, Michael Jackson for me, I was raised on Michael Jackson's music. My mom used to listen to Michael Jackson while I was in the womb. And for me, Michael Jackson was just the definition of real magic. The way that he's able to shine his energy and make people feel that excitement, that magic, that to me was my first representation of real magic, and the reason why I perform the way I do. When I perform, I'm always focused on giving people really good feelings. I'm not focused on being amazing. I'm not focused on being the best or being impressive. I'm focused on giving you the best experience you ever had. I want to make you feel so incredibly good that you'll remember this forever. And that's something that definitely got inspired by Michael Jackson. Empress is saying, oh, David, I didn't know you do the live stream thing. Seeing you and hearing you directly is making me super happy and positive feeling. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. This is actually my first time doing a YouTube live stream. I thought I'd try something new and connect with you guys because, I've been getting a lot of questions and sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the comments that go on. So I figured, let me just jump on and talk to you guys directly and address any concerns or questions you might have, and yeah, just jam out with you guys because I really appreciate you guys so much. I've been building my YouTube channel for, when did I start I think in 2004. And, you guys have just been so incredibly supportive and inspiring that it means the world to me. And so I want to connect as much as possible. And that's why I created some of the things that I have for you guys. Let me see, looking at your questions. Trying to look for a new question over here. Melanie's saying, I want to hypnotize someone. Can you explain in detail how? I went through that. If you look earlier in the recording, if you watch this live stream, I gave the breakdown, the simple breakdown. If you really want to learn, you could check out my Master Hypnosis course. That gives you all the subtleties, and that's something I'm going to be talking about in the end because I really wanted to give you guys a gift because at the end of the day, I created Master Hypnosis for you guys. I kept getting tons and tons of emails and messages for you guys to the point where literally 95% of my emails was like, David, could you teach me your unique style of hypnosis? I've seen the other guys, but I want to learn your style. And so I took the time and I put together this Master Hypnosis course, which is perfect for if you're a complete beginner and never heard anything about hypnosis, or even if you're professional and you want to master your game even more so that you don't fail, then this is what I put together for you. It's an online course where you literally, as soon as you as soon as you sign up, you get instant access to these HD videos where you see, I've included a bunch of performance videos, and basically what you see is myself performing hypnosis, and then me breaking it down chunk by chunk, going through every subtlety and every nuance, so that it becomes crystal clear and that you're able to do hypnosis intuitively. Because the whole thing with me with hypnosis is that a lot of hypnosis teachings, they leave you caught in your head. You're too busy thinking of the techniques and the mechanics and what words to say. But what inspired me to create this course is I wanted to share intuitive hypnosis with you guys, so that you don't even have to think about it, and so that it's as automatic as tying your shoes, right? So if that's something that interests you, I have a special gift for you guys, which I guess I'll talk about now since it already came up. Whereas if you guys want to get my course, Master Hypnosis, for the next, I'll say for the next 24 hours, if you use the promo code GREATNESS, you guys are going to get an instant discount of 35% off the course, which is phenomenal value. I mean, if you know anything about training in hypnosis, I mean, every time I've gone to hypnosis training, I always spend $2,000 and up. And I wanted to make it super affordable for you guys, while at the same time giving you a lot of value. So if you use the promo code GREATNESS, you'll get 35% off. And what you're going to learn is not just hypnosis and the techniques, but you're also going to learn, the nuances, the subtleties. You're going to learn, how do you make people hypnotize themselves so that you don't have to do anything and you don't have to fear failure. There's cool tricks for that. How do you install hypnosis in someone's mind so that when you say the word sleep, they know how to respond? What do you do if your suggestions don't work? How do you recover from that and make them work powerfully? What's the most powerful induction technique? So I go over all those things so that you could literally become a masterful hypnotist, and the course itself is only 90 minutes. Most people think that this stuff must take weeks and months to learn, but I've broken it down in such a way where there's like no fluff, no filler. Just in 90 minutes, you guys can learn powerful hypnosis and start hypnotizing, in less time than it takes you to watch a movie. So if you want to check that out, you could go over to my website, www.lionism.tv. You'll see a link over there that leads you. There's a link that says, I'm finally revealing my secrets. You click on that, you click on Master Hypnosis, and just make sure you put in the promo code GREATNESS, and you'll get 35% off for the next 24 hours just for being awesome and staying here with me the whole time. Let me know if that is. Do you believe everyone is cut out for hypnosis? Yes, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, what's really cool with hypnosis is that you're not actually learning anything new. You're just learning how to become more conscious of things that you're already doing. Because really, hypnosis is communication. And it's just understanding certain principles of the mind that you already inherently know. So I'm just making sense of things that you already get, right? So anybody can learn hypnosis and anybody can do hypnosis. If it excites you and it interests you, I say 100% go for it, because hypnosis is like the closest thing to a superpower that you can learn. Literally, it's the closest thing to a superpower. Your hypnosis is only limited by your imagination. So whether you want to make people hallucinate that you're their favorite celebrity, or that there's millions of dollars, or if you want to help people with their emotions, you could do all that stuff with hypnosis. It's genuinely one of the things that most transformed my life and that took me the furthest in life. I mean, that's why we're having this conversation here now. So we got about 30 more seconds and I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. When are you live streaming next time? This is extremely helpful. You are absolutely great, and I love your attitude. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm not sure exactly when I'm live streaming next time. I'm going to put that on my schedule. But now that I know that this was a test run, now that I know that you guys are getting a lot of value out of it and you find it helpful and that you want more, I'll be posting on my community page where we could have more interactions, kind of like almost like talking on a Facebook wall. And you guys will let me know, what works best for you guys, what topics you want me to cover, and we'll look into doing this once a week or something like that. Does that sound good? let's see. Lincoln is asking, why do I have to pay for the courses? I guess that's a great question. I mean, I'll give you this perspective. You know, I've personally invested thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in learning hypnosis myself. And you know, there's no way that I wanted to make you guys pay thousands of dollars. However, there is a certain value that needs to be respected because it's not for everyone. You know, hypnosis is one of those things that's, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. You can change lives. You can impact people. And you know, it's something that needs a certain level of respect and integrity. You know, so it's just a matter of valuing the time and energy that was put into it and the amount of money that I myself have invested in it. And on top of that, you know, it's something that you could very easily make money with yourself. When you learn hypnosis, you can make people stop smoking. You could very easily make $500 in 1 hour for a single session. You know, you could help people heal their deep-rooted emotions. So really, it's not so much of paying something, it's investing in yourself. It's making an investment that you can make more money with yourself in the long run. So that's the reason why there is a price point on it, and also, in my opinion, a really great one. Could you please throw a link to your website? Yes. So let me see. I don't know if I could type over here. Let me see. I'll put it in. I'm gonna throw it into the description below later on. And it's so the website link is www.lionism.tv. All right, www.lionism.tv. Lion like the animal, ism like Buddhism. Let's see. All right, guys. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up and be on my way. I got a few other things I gotta do. I just wanted to connect with you. Type it, please. I'm not sure how to type it. Let me see. I don't have a way of typing it, unfortunately. I have a business card laying around nearby. Oh, here. Let me see. If you guys could see this, oh, it's backwards, but it's www.lionism.tv. All right? Check this out. This is my business card. I don't know if it's clear on the camera. Let me see. Trying to get it as clear as possible. So, I don't know how clear that is, but it's basically, that's how you spell Lionism. So it's lionism.tv, .television, .tv, all right? So hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you guys want to benefit from that gift offer, it's going to be available for the next 24 hours. All you got to do is go on to www.lionism.tv, click on Master Hypnosis, put in the promo code, and like I said, you're going to get 35% off. You're going to learn hypnosis in 90 minutes, and from there, you're literally going to have the tools to go wherever you want from there. So it's going to teach you not only how to hypnotize others rapidly and intuitively, I also share with you a technique to tap people into the best version of themselves. And there's, oh, and on top of it, there's an MP3 where I hypnotize you inside the course. So if you've ever wanted to have a hypnosis experience with me, I created this MP3 where I bring you into a trance and I help you rewire your brain for success and excellence and to be the best hypnotist you could possibly be so that you do it effortlessly.